Hey, it's never dull here at 82 Maple, and look what we got going on. Managed to take the track right off the 440. So there we have it, and let's step through what it is we need to do to get this back on. Okay, so first, let's clean things up so that we don't make a bad situation worse by getting dirt where it should not be. And let's get that grease fitting out of there. I erroneously thought that the bolt might provide an exit door for the grease, but no such luck. I actually need to remove the fitting. Now, before I slack off the track tensioner, I want to see how far forward it was when the track came off. That's post-fix. That's going to help me get close to correct positioning when I retension the track after hopefully getting it back where it should be. So now we're throwing a chain around the front idler to help us move it back to create as much track slack as possible. Now this old come-along once belonged to my dad, and it's going to come in super handy for this. Well, we've got some slack. We've got to get this back up on top of the sprocket so that I can pop the transmission into reverse and drag the track back on. How is it that a job like this is never as easy as it initially appears?
We're using 1, 2, 3, plus Howard, 4 things to try to get this track back on. Get this exercise for the day. We got the gator winch out, pulling on it. We have one of these things, I always forget what they're called, a little come along or something. Tractor, and Howard's manpower.
Basically, we're throwing everything that we have at this. I'm just glad I'm not stuck somewhere on a 20-degree slope in the mud. And we're getting close to having this where it needs to be. But that's only happening after some direct threats directed at the track from Coral and through eliciting some help from a nearby tree as we begin to move back and engage the sprocket with the first couple of track pins. Now, speaking of track tension, it seems that after we got the track back in place, we still had one more small hurdle, and that's living proof that what seems like a 2-minute job can easily turn into 10 or 20.
Are you having fun yet?
I am having tons of fun.
Too much fun?
Too much fun.
Have we been having some issues with our little grease nipple
it's
here?
A very special kind of grease fitting, and it was used on this equipment. It came stock, but when we go to put the grease head onto it, all we had was grease pouring out because 2 reasons. One, there's a bolt that has a completely different purpose that we won't get into that sits right behind here, and that was preventing the fitting from going on. And secondly, we had to undo this fitting about 3 full rounds so that this head would not bump up against the framework and would allow the grease to penetrate. There we have it. Too much fun. I just love figuring out little puzzles like this on my own, particularly when I have the time. After pushing a bit of dirt around, I'm going to go in and watch some YouTube videos to see how the real pros do it. Thanks so much for hanging out with Coral and me and our little 1959 440 here. Like this if you enjoyed it and want to see more. Would love to have you subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And there you have it. We're back in business. I've definitely got to watch my track tension more closely. My sense is that the left-hand tensioner is leaking. there you have it. And as you witnessed, track is back on, and a little more work to do on this guy here. Well, a lot more actually, but I enjoy that kind of thing. Let's turn our attention though for just a minute to some of the content for upcoming videos. So I've got this little bucket machine here, and it needs a starter, it needs a muffler, it needs an air cleaner, it needs a bunch of stuff. And let's just see how we're doing here. Come on in with me. So I love having 2 or 3 machines on the go because there's always something that is waiting to be shipped. So there is the new upholstery, backrest, the seat, the armrests for the 440 bucket machine. I've got a couple of new starters here. I talked about them in a short video, or I will be talking about those in an upcoming short video, so I won't pause too much there. Why 2 starters? Well, I'll explain that. And then over here, what's going on? Well, I've got a Massey Ferguson 160 manure spreader. Why we would throw this equipment out or let it rust and rot, I have no idea. New equipment is just so expensive, and it's expensive to maintain and fix. Every time something goes wrong, it seems we have to load the thing up and take it into the dealership. All of this vintage stuff. You know what? A set of wrenches and you can go to work on it. I am truly inspired, I know I've mentioned it before, by Pete over at Just a Few Acres Farms. I'm going to throw that link in again down below. And anyway, I just managed to find a drive line. That was a bit of a challenge. And I've got to shorten that drive shaft. And I needed an adapter to go from a 1-inch round drive with a keyway to a standard 6-spline, which is what this little gem is. And yes, the Stihl 661C that powers my Alaska chainsaw mill just gave it a good working over. The spark plug's there. The old air filter and fuel filter are in the garbage. Hey, we're just having way. Yeah, I know I say it all the time. Okay, kiddos, I'll let you finish my sentence.
Too much fun!